I'm on? Am I on? Am I live? I'm alive, live. Hi, how are you doing? Reverend Michael McMorrow coming to you live from the sanctuary at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California, which is the North San Fernando Valley. And so welcome to you, and welcome to, if we have our friend joining us from Calgary, this Canada. So hello to you, and it's been fun knowing that you've been joining us, and I know we've had some folks out in Florida, and I think one out of Texas. So if that's any of you folks, thanks for joining us, and of course all of our local friends. Always good to have you with us. And so we're going to start, as we've been doing through this 2021, even though we're now opening up. So we're not stuck at home like we were, but we may still be stuck on the desk. So I'm just going to warm the trunk up. Just allow the arms to swing. Just loosen up that torso area. So if you're like me, you haven't done this in a few hours, feels good. All right. So we're going to start out. I'm going to presume that you are in a chair, and if you are in a chair, I'll start there. So we're going to scooch out on the edge of the chair, like so. So my hiney's about 6 inches in on the chair. And so we're just going to put our hands to our side, put our right hand on the hip, and we're going to breathe that left arm up and over. And we're just going to lengthen this side, just stretch it out on the exhale. Very gently, and then release it. And then right or left arm on the left hip, right arm palm facing forward, taking a deep breath and stretching, just lengthening that side, taking a couple breaths. And I just realized that we're actually kind of getting ahead of ourselves, because we want to start with a gentle forward bend, right? Okay, so taking a deep conscious breath, both hands up, reach for the sky, the arms and the shoulders, and then just a gentle release down, exhaling. Just very gently. And so it's a flat back. We don't want to arch the back, a flat back. And then we'll just feel that stretch in here. So breathing on the way up, tighten the belly. And exhale down. Taking a couple breaths here. Tighten the belly. Inhale up. Exhale down gently. So if you're using a chair, just put your hands on the back of the chair, go to a flat back, allow the head to drop between the arms and the shoulder, bending the knees slightly, or releasing to the floor, bending the knees, tighten the belly, take a deep breath. Breathing all the way up, arch the back, and then come forward gently. And again, bend the knees. And we're just gently stretching that lower back just a little bit. Breathing here, a couple breaths.
Tighten the belly. Deep breath up.
Up we go. Exhale down.
One more time. I'm just releasing that lower back. Keeping my knees bent. Very gently. Tighten the belly. Breathing up.
Okay, exhale down. Arms, hands on the hips. And again, just allowing that trunk to warm up. So now let's do, this is an old football one. So hands on your hips. And we're just going to bring the hips all the way around. We're going to go to the right, and we're going to go around the other way. Okay. So hands on the hips, rotating to the right. So you're feeling this in the hip, in the lower back. Okay, now we're going to go back the other way, counterclockwise. Are you over there laughing, Mike? Oh, okay. Not yet. Would I laugh at you? Okay, so let's do some more side bends again. So we've demonstrated them from the sitting position. So let's just, if you're standing, what do I want to do? Right hand on the right hip, left hand down, palm facing out, taking a deep breath, bending the knees, and stretching over, lengthening this side, looking over through the armpit, keeping the arm in the armpit, and release. Taking a breath. Over the side we go. Okay. Left hand on the left hip, right hand down. Taking a deep breath, going up. And just gentle stretch and a lengthening of the side. We're supposed to be relaxing, not tensing. Exhale. Okay, right hand on the right hip, left hand down, palm facing forward. Taking a breath up. And stretching, looking through the armpit. Oh, you can go ahead and lift that shoulder a little bit and really lengthen that. Now this should be very gentle, just a very gentle stretch. All right, and let's go back to the little twist and shout. Okay, and as we prepare to head over to the cushion, or if you're in your chair, just making room for our meditation time now. Oh, I have to say, I got these new shorts from Costco. And they're like stretch fabric, like coaching shorts. Perfect for this kind of thing. All right. Are we back on? Okay. So I just wondered, how do you like this new setup here? So this is because we're back in business again. On Sundays. So check your constant contact. You still have to register. We're going to be doing that for a while, at least a month or two, I imagine. But there's plenty, there's 20 seats, and so either the 9 o'clock or the 10:30. We still don't have a youth program, don't have the fellowship, our other online activities, law of attraction, bereavement support, healing support groups. They are all online still, and are preparing to move into hybrid mode, at least for bereavement and healing support. Right, Reverend Jessica? I'm presuming she's on the chat there. All right. So let's start here by taking a deep conscious breath and release as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. A fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. All I'm doing is this. And if you're hearing that at home, my apologies. So as we have lit here the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, a way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We're sorting out technical things here, if you're wondering. All right, taking a deep breath and release. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. The eighth candle we light for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. You know what? It's me moving my head. So don't move your head, Mike. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at the center. And as we bring our attention to the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I trust in God. 'Cause I know, 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 'c love.
surrender to this eternal now moment, recognizing and knowing that we have surrendered to the indwelling presence of the divine itself. That as we know that there is no spot where God is not, then we come to see that right where we are, God is. And so we still our mind and open our heart and allow ourselves to have this time to have an experience of the divine. And so as we set our attention or intention for the evening and for this meditation, we remember that even as we set this intention, we're releasing any attachment to outcome, what it's supposed to look like, how long it's going to be. Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? We're just releasing all that and allowing ourselves to surrender the mind by focusing the breath. Surrender the mind by opening the heart. So taking a deep breath and releasing this word, the cares, concerns, and intentions of anyone watching or listening later. Releasing to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself from which all things emanate. So in deep gratitude and confidence we release it, knowing it's done, and together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So we're having a tech meditation tonight. I remember the writer Greg Lavoie, Dr. Maureen Hoyt, our pastor emeritus here. Back in the day, she knew it. Well, she still knows everybody, but she knew everybody in those days. And Greg was good enough to come to our center and present his book. I think those days it was Callings, and he has a whole thing on meditation in there. And he talks about, maybe you can relate to this, so you sit in meditation and then you hear, crows cawing in the background. So you're trying to meditate and quack, 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 right? Or there's dogs barking. The neighbor's dog won't be still. And so he talked about what he learned to do is just to say, oh, today it's cawing crow meditation, or today it's a barking dog meditation. So we just bring whatever is going on into the meditation. So today, this evening is a tech meditation, but I think we've got it all figured out now. So we're still working through the book, The Infinite Way, with Joel Goldsmith. And I've been enjoying this book. I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting a lot out of it. And if you have this book, my buddy Brett Potter was telling me to make sure I check out the Wisdoms of the Infinite Way, which it's in the back of the book. And they're just little paragraph, real gems. So here's one. Do not be concerned about your relationships with people. Consciously maintain your relationship with God, and this will take care of everything else. How about that? Anyway, so we're continuing on page 55. Remember, it's been talking about the Christ. And where we left off last week, Goldsmith was talking about when we focus our attention on being one with the Spirit, then the one that then the Spirit is alive within us, and that we have experiences that are similar to what the apostles or even the Christ had, and the things that Christ Jesus did. Now Paul talks about this. They will do also. So, which sets up the next thought from Joel. Our task then is the realization of the Christ of our own consciousness. We acknowledge with joy and deep love the measure of the Christ attained not only by Jesus, but by the many spiritual seers and prophets of all the ages. So we read this last week. Our hearts are filled with gratitude for the measure of the Christ manifested by so many men and women of today. We look forward to the realization of the Christ of our own consciousness, that the kingdom of God is in you, and he who searches for it outside of himself will never find it, for apart from God, no one can either seek or find God. For he who seeks God already in truth has him. So this comes out of John, but there's also a passage from Luke and also the Gospel of Thomas. We must understand the word consciousness because we can only prove what we are conscious of. We must understand the word consciousness because we can only prove what we are conscious of. Where do we stand in consciousness? Are we still mortals? Or have we renounced our material selfhood and acknowledged ourselves to be the Christ, the fulfillment, the presence of God? Someday we must give up the effort to get and acknowledge ourselves and be the eternal giver in action. We must feed the 5,000 without taking thought as to whence it shall come. Out of our Christhood, the multitudes can be supplied. Wherein then is lack, except in the belief that we are humans? We must give up this belief and claim our true identity. When we are confronted with any person or circumstance that appears to be mortal, we must realize thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God, and that all that appears as mortality is illusion or nothingness. We will fear no mortal and no material circumstance because we recognize its nothingness. Truth is simple. There are no deep metaphysics or mysterious truths. It is either truth or not truth. But there cannot be deep truth and shallow truth, nor can there be degrees of truth. Truth, to be truth, must be absolute truth. We are concerned now with the truth that we individualize infinite power. We must not look to a power outside of or apart from ourselves. We individualize infinite power in proportion to our own consciousness of truth. So even though there are no degrees in truth, there are degrees within our understanding. Right? Can be frustrating. Because when we understand that we are responsible for our own experience, then we come to see that if we feel like we're in some kind of a space where we are not experiencing the divine, it's not on the divine, it's on us. We're the ones who have to get our mind right And sometimes that's easier done through the heart. But, but if you are if you have a tendency to be a cowardly lion in affairs of the heart, like some ministers I know, okay, one minister, all right, me. So it's easier for a fellow who's wired like I am to start with the head and then allow myself to drop into the heart. Sometimes it works the other way. Sometimes I'm cracked open. And so then, if you're a person like me and that's an uncomfortable place, and we have to learn to be with that. Learn to be with that and just to live with the uncertainty of that. Because that is the big, the paradox of life, is that we want to have certainty, but life is uncertain. This is part of the driver between attachment and aversion. So, anyway, we've talked about that stuff a lot. Why don't we go ahead and do some meditation? What do you say? Can I get just a little more volume here? I have a wee sore throat. All right, so what do you say? Let's just start by taking a deep conscious breath. And exhale, and on that exhale, just feel the body relaxing, unwinding. Can you feel that? And we're placing our attention on the movement of the breath in the nostril. And as you do that, you'll see the mind begins to still. So as that is available, see if you can detect the movement of your breath on your upper lip on the exhale. But you see how that takes you down a little deeper, huh? So now we're going to do a body scan just to release tension. So if you find a place that has some tension, you just simply take a deep breath. Focusing again on the movement of the breath in the nostril. And you're breathing into that place where there's tension or an itch or whatever's going on. Just breathing into it and then exhale. And you will actually feel that again unwind. So from the feet into the lower leg, into the knees, into the back of the thigh, the hamstring, the front of the thigh, following the breath. And the tummy is just simply rising and falling. So the tummy is relaxed. And so you can actually bring your awareness both on the movement of the breath on your lip, but also the release in your tummy. So from the sit bones, anchored in the seat, an erect spine, but not a tense, just erect, balanced over the sit bones, the head balanced on the spine. Following the breath. Bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows. Crown of the head. Or even the movement of the air on your body, that all of it, just follow it. Let's take a deep conscious breath together and release. Following the breath as we now move into the silence. gently back into the room, staying with the breath. Bring our attention to the exhale. So knowing there is at our heart center the seed of the soul, the flame of the divine. We continue to work with the breath and fan that flame with each in-breath. And on each exhale, just releasing that which is no longer needed. That we know that the light of the divine is everywhere present, so we're breathing in the light of the divine, fanning that flame, allowing that light to commingle with the light within, a light that restores and heals and energizes. And on the exhale, we're just releasing that which no longer serves us. That light is being transmuted with the indwelling presence into love itself. So we're breathing in light and exhaling love. Breathing in light and exhaling love. And so we imagine at our heart center a ball of light that expands with each in-breath. In the same way that blowing a balloon up expands, contracts a wee bit, expands, contracts a wee bit. So with each in-breath, this ball of light expanding now beyond the body, torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom, that we feel our heart opening with the rise and fall of the breath, the ebb and flow, this light now extending beyond our fingertips, that we are sitting in this light, that this light is now enlightening the very room in which we reside, breathing in light, exhaling love, that we can feel this light, the edges of the light, commingling with our brothers and sisters online right here in this moment. So that in this way we are creating a field of light and love, and in this field we speak into it now our cares, concerns, our desires, that which we require. That allows us to get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuit and allows the living intelligence of spirit to demonstrate fully. And so, in this field, then, we are knowing together that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life, one light of the divine, that there is no spot where God is not, from the furthest reaches of the universe to the smallest aspects of matter within the body temple. God is. So we breathe in the breath of the Spirit and exhale. So from this place of conscious unity with the One, having spoken our word, realized our truth, realize that this truth is absolute truth, that it is not hindered in any way, in ways known or unknown by our own consciousness, and that we courageously now sit in this field of allowing. So we take another deep breath and exhale with gratitude, knowing that we are releasing this breath, releasing this word, the feelings, the cares, the concerns, all of it we're releasing to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself, as that place of the perfect expression of unconditional love that appears to be impersonal in its perfection, in its perfect expression of unconditionality. So we release it with deep gratitude and confidence, knowing that it's done, knowing that it is so. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So, you made it through our technology meditation. And my itchy eye meditation, whatever was going on there. Something flew in my eye. So thank you for joining us this evening. I'm on Facebook at noonish. If you want to do a midday prayer with me, I usually get that done. I've been pretty good lately, unless I've been off. I try to get on there no later than 12:05, so you can look for that, or you can dip in later when you have time. Try to give you a shout out if I see you on there. Our services start at 9 o'clock this Sunday morning. There's room for 20 in here. Make sure you register. At 10:30, we live stream the service and also have people in here with us, another 20 folks plus our service people. So it's pretty safe. We're definitely dipping our toe into the water and being not acting out of fear, but just wanting to protect the most vulnerable among us, not knowing who that may be. And at the same time knowing that there is a field of radiant good health, of resilience and resistance to pathogens of any kind here within the center. So we have live music for both of those services. Ken Francis is the music director. I believe we have Jason back this week. So just do me a favor if you can. If this is your first time on and you want to receive notices, just hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell. I don't know, what are we up to now? 600 subscribers? We'd like to get that up over 1,000 this year. So get your friends to join us too. And And maybe if you're still on and still on the chat, maybe give Mike and Evan a thank you for being of service here tonight. And if you feel so moved, you want to help support this meditation service and this online effort, as well as our physical community, please consider donating either through Facebook, through our website, on the YouTube channel, through PayPal, or you can mail it in to the center here. However it gets here, just know that we are deeply grateful, that I'm grateful for all of you and for the guys in the back who have helped us keep this going for the next year, for the last year and a half, not the next year and a half. And next week, you'll be welcome to join us in here if you like. There will, and you can do that without reservation. Okay, so that's next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. All right, till then, know that you're loved. Peace and blessings. So long.